Hello guys, and today I am happy to introduce you to another dangerous Ukrainian bird, Sapsan, translated as a hawk. That is a Ukrainian tactical ballistic missile that I'm sure will help a lot in the demilitarization of Russia. That is the only working peace plan. All because this ballistic missile, with its range of 500 kilometers, can actually reach more than 80% of Russia's military production facilities. And that is super important for the lasting peace in my part of the world. What is also interesting, President Zelenskyy reported that at least 20 of these missiles were already used to destroy Russia's military production facilities, military headquarters since this August. And after this news appeared online, inside the Kremlin, they began measuring which cities and locations are in danger after Sapsans flew out of Ukraine. So let's talk a little bit more about the need of production of Ukrainian homemade missiles. Flamingo was first, now we have Sapsan, and no, this is not Soviet modifications. These are newly developed Ukrainian missiles based on this real combat experience of the 21st century war. Why it's super important if we want to prevent the Third World War, and where did we use them? My name is Anna, I'm from Ukraine, I'm in Ukraine, and if you want to see Putin in The Hague, subscribe and share these videos to spread the truth and to demonstrate your solidarity with Ukraine. Honestly, we need that these days. So let's begin with this interesting fact. The majority of modern Ukrainian missiles have bird names. Flamingo is our first cruise missile that can travel really far away, but we also needed a different type, a ballistic missile. You know, this is a special feature of ballistic missiles. They travel really fast. So the fact that it was already tested for a range of 300 kilometers, and it is believed it can travel 500 kilometers just during, and I had put it down, 5-7 minutes. As a Ukrainian, living under constant Russian attacks and knowing that they don't follow the rules of war, I don't like ballistic missiles because sometimes they arrive into our homes without the air raid alert. Literally, they travel minutes, or if you're close to the front lines, seconds. And Russians, well, they are more relaxed because they know the Ukrainian army respects the Geneva Convention, all the rules, and we will only target these legitimate sites like factories, drone production facilities, military arsenals, and of course the locations where they develop their missiles. But this speed of the ballistic missile can actually help us do it faster and more effectively. I mean, defeat and demilitarize Russia. Because recently, some people from the White House wanted to pressure Ukraine to surrender by saying that the Kremlin is developing too many missiles. We need to stop the war because otherwise they will have enough missiles for literally every country on the planet. No, that's not how you deal with bullies. That's not how you deal with aggressors. If you start giving them all they want just because they keep producing instruments of war on that territory, you will keep losing. They will want more and more of you. That is so logical. That is the truth, I don't know, since the ancient Greece and Rome. But the only working plan here is to target their military production facilities, and they must be within the reach of the missiles that Ukraine possesses. We constantly ask for Tomahawks, for Taurus, and what we receive, concerns and hesitations. When actually it is an extremely sane, logical decision to provide Ukraine with the missiles that can be used to destroy Russia's arsenals of missiles and production sites, thus making this world a safer place. And it's important not just for Ukraine, trust me, for many more countries, and not only in Europe. Because Russia is a sponsor of wars and conflicts in Asia, in Africa, and they can actually reach North America and America in general with their support of Maduro in Venezuela. We see that. So let me tell you a little bit of history of Sapsan, which is translated as a hawk. It was first developed in 1994, the idea of it. It had a different name, like Borisfan. Then in 2013, the project received the name Hrim, or Hrim 2 later. Hrim is thunderstorm. Thunderstorm in Ukrainian is Hrim. And it was produced on Pivdenny. There were a couple of countries that actually wanted to buy it, including Saudi Arabia, but there were lots of problems with that, and so on and so forth. And then finally in 2019, the first test of the prototypes took place, and then we didn't hear a lot. But in 2022, you know, all these processes activated. And here I have to tell you that I'm very proud of my country, that with constant electricity outages, with constant attack on our infrastructure, with all this we have to go through, we are able to keep developing, inventing and building missiles. A lot of drones that are game changers, and you read about destroyed Russia's oil facilities now, not just in the Black Sea, but also in the Caspian Sea. And like many achievements, but we also develop missiles because we are realists. We see the world is too hesitant. The world still hopes we can return back to the good old normal. No, Russia as a predator sends the weakness, sends the blood, not of the Ukrainians, but of some of our allies. And the only way to end this is to defeat and demilitarize them with the ballistic missiles that can reach the production sites. That's so obvious. Please share, like if you agree with me. So finally in August, we began using them. And we destroyed headquarters. President did not say a lot, but I believe it was Kursk-Belgorod region. We've read about that in August. I spoke about that. And there are more than 20 that were actively used, and there are lots of Russian maps where they count that, oh my God, with these Sapsans, when Ukrainians don't need the permission from the White House or from the European Union or from NATO, they can actually launch it and it will reach a legitimate target that can be close to Moscow or Minsk or Tula or Vladimir and many more Russian cities, and they draw these maps. What a change since the beginning of the supposed blitzkrieg. Have you noticed that? When they predicted Ukraine would collapse in 3 days, and now after 4 years they measure the danger of locations deep inside the Russian area that we can successfully demilitarize with our strikes. So 80% of their factories and plants that produce these evil instruments of blackmail, terror and violence may be within the reach of the Ukrainian ballistic missile Sapsan. Let's watch, let's remain united, and everyone in Ukraine wants peace, but everyone in Ukraine understands that modern Russia is built on violence and lies. Do watch my new video on Anna Danilchuk channel where I explain how these lies ruin them from inside and why actually we will never accept any agreement with Putin because it's not worth the paper on which it was written, and it would be super disrespectful to all of us to even consider it. The only working peace plan, yes, you know, to defeat and demilitarize Russia, and flamingos and Sapsans and millions of Ukrainians on the front lines, on production sites, are working on that. Thank you for standing with us. Follow me on X, Instagram, Blue Sky, Threads, Discord. The links in the description of this video, same as the links to the merch shop, where you can buy a lot of good presents, meaningful presents that will also help you remind the world about Ukraine, our fight, and the need to defeat Russia. Please share these videos, please subscribe, comment, help the algorithms spread the truth, because social media can be good, not only bad. And thank you for buying me coffees. I'm actually having one here. For becoming patrons and sponsors of the channels and helping me speak more and spread the truth about Ukraine. That's super important. And I'm honored to have you as friends and patrons. Slava Ukraini!